You spend about a third of your life in bed. It's where you rest, recover, and recharge. But here's a question most people never ask. When was the last time you changed your bed sheets? A week ago? 2 weeks ago? Maybe even a month? It might seem harmless. After all, your sheets still look clean. But here's the surprising part. Every single night, while you're fast asleep, your bed quietly collects things you never notice, and by the end of this video, you may never look at your bed the same way again. Welcome to Common Things, Surprising Histories. Today, we're uncovering the hidden story of your bed sheets, why changing them matters far more than most people realize, and what really happens while you sleep. For most of human history, people didn't change their bed sheets very often, not because they didn't care about cleanliness, but because they simply couldn't. Centuries ago, washing large pieces of fabric by hand was exhausting work. Water had to be carried by hand, soap was expensive, and drying heavy sheets could take an entire day. Most families owned only 1 or 2 sets of bedding. Instead of washing them regularly, they often hung them outside in the fresh air and sunlight. Here's where things get interesting. Long before scientists understood bacteria or hygiene, people noticed something strange. Beds left in the sun smelled fresher. Without realizing it, they were using one of nature's oldest cleaning tools. As time passed, washing machines made life much easier. Changing bed sheets became a simple household chore instead of an all-day task. Yet surprisingly, many people still wait much longer than they probably should. Why? Because the problem is almost completely invisible. Most people imagine that dirty sheets are just covered in dust. But the real story is even stranger. Every single night, your body naturally sheds tiny flakes of skin. You also sweat, release body oils, and sometimes even leave behind tiny amounts of saliva without noticing. All of it slowly collects in your bedding. Prepare to be surprised. This doesn't happen after one night. It happens little by little, night after night, week after week. Imagine placing 1 grain of sand into a jar every day. At first, you wouldn't notice any difference. But eventually, the jar begins to fill. Your bed works in much the same way. Each night leaves behind a tiny trace. On its own, it seems insignificant. Together, it creates a completely different sleeping environment. But here's another surprising question. If you can't actually see any of this, does it really matter? The answer isn't just about keeping your sheets looking clean. It's about creating a fresher place to sleep. As sweat, oils, and tiny particles build up, your bedding becomes a more welcoming place for microscopic organisms that naturally exist in our homes. Most of them are completely harmless. In fact, they're around us all the time. But over time, this invisible buildup can contribute to stale smells and may irritate people with allergies or sensitive skin. What happened next was remarkable. Researchers found that something as simple as washing your sheets regularly removes much of this buildup, making your bed feel fresher and more comfortable. And there's another hidden benefit. Fresh sheets often feel cooler against your skin. They smell cleaner. They even make climbing into bed feel more relaxing after a long day. In other words, changing your sheets isn't just about appearance. It's about refreshing the one place where you spend nearly 1/3 of your entire life. That's far more important than most people ever stop to think about. The next time you make your bed, remember that your sheets have been quietly telling a story every single night. A story of sleep. A story of your body's natural rhythms. And a story that's almost completely invisible. Sometimes the most ordinary household habits hide the most surprising science. If you enjoyed uncovering this hidden story, hit like, share with a curious friend, and subscribe to Simple Things, Surprising Histories for more incredible stories hiding in plain sight.